Is my wife said, I hate cooking for y'all because y'all never want to try anything different. Now, I don't know. I could be missing out on something, good or not. But I'm just not willing to try some food that I don't know if I will like. And her logic is, how do I know I won't like it if I won't try it? She has a valid point. My wife is right. She's right. Because now I find myself, my taste buds are changing, and I'm finding myself liking some things that I didn't like before. So I say, okay, so I can understand, she's right. And so every now and then my wife will ask me to taste something. And I'll try it. Some things I like, some things I don't like. But at least I try them. But David says, try God. He says, oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. David is saying, listen, you don't know if you don't like God. You haven't even tried it. He's like me and Caleb saying we like our chicken a certain way. He's saying, how do you know you like your chicken a certain way if you've never tried it? In other words, how do you know that you want God, you don't want God, if you've never tried God? David says we have to try. He says, oh, taste and see. But listen, tasting something new. Here's something that I do. So now my wife says to try some things, and I'll try it. But here's how I try it. I'll take my fork, and the little bitty tip of that fork, I'll dip it in something and put it in my mouth. And I'll taste it, and I'll go through all emotions. I'm tasting it. I'm rolling it around. I'm doing my thing with my tongue, trying to get the taste of it, right? But I took a little bitty dip on the tip of my fork to try to taste it. See, in order for me to taste something, I've got to get a real good sample size of it. That taste test that I'm doing with my wife, it's not a good sample size. I've got to get a real good sample size. I can't taste anything by simply dipping my fork, the tip of my fork in it. No, I've got to cut into it. I've got to get a nice size, a nice piece of it. And then I got to put it in my mouth. And I got to swish it around. And I got to savor it for a minute. I got to make that funny noise with my tongue. I got to really savor the taste of it. You ever had food taste so good that you just blow through it and you never really actually stop to taste it? I've got to sit there and taste that food. That's what God wants us to do with him. He wants us to get a nice, hearty piece of him. A nice, hearty sample size. And try him out. How do you try him out? You try him out on your serious issues. You try him out on that husband that won't do right. You try him out on those kids who won't act right. You try him out on problems that you know you can't solve. And who else can? You don't know anybody else who can. You try him out on your money issues. You try him out on all of your issues and see that the Lord tastes really good. The reason you have to taste God is because sometimes looking at it, sometimes smelling it is not enough. I took my wife to a restaurant about a month ago named Mark's. And Mark's is supposed to be American cuisine. And it's supposed to be this fancy restaurant. So we go in there, I order a citrus something salad, and they bring me out this plate, and it's so beautiful. It's pretty. It's got little cut slivers of grapefruit, and little cuts of orange, and little cuts of all these different kind of citrus things, right? And then it's got lettuce mixed into it, and there's a few nuts and all that stuff there. And it looks at and they put it on my on the table, and my wife said, "Oh, that looks so good." This is me trying something new. I told you I don't like doing it. This is me trying something new. So I said, okay,